The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good. How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Well, good morning. I am Paige Clarke, and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle. And this is where we explore a return to a much more balanced, natural, wild world.
Yeah, to recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms, and I'm Nico Haan.
And it's a beautiful day in downtown St. Petersburg, Florida. I wouldn't really say it's beautiful because it's raining. But
it's raining, 75 degrees.
But it feels good because
Yeah.
it kind of cools things off a little bit.
That's for sure, and please pick up our Health Signals newsletter. I have a brand new issue out as of Tuesday, talking about Monsanto paying all these this big lawsuit, and probably more to come. But there's a lot of other stuff in there.
5,000 in the lineup.
Wow.
But you know, that's really nothing compared to what I think the damages are. But
Well, you're probably right there. That's for sure, especially in lives. And also, of course, we want to talk about our Primal Edge, our one-shot wonder. Over 310 cell-ready ingredients, all powered by fulvic and humic acid to get the good stuff in.
and the bad stuff out, guys. And listen, if you have any questions about the show or you want to make a comment, you can email us at Paige or Nico at TFNN.com.
And we're taking your phone calls at 877-927-6648. I'd like to start off this morning with a couple of emails that I got. One is Adeline, who writes us often. She says, I never know whether the emails go through, especially with links. We do get a lot of spam on some of these email things. I get an email from Sandy Moe, I think it's called, who is an outfitter in Alamorada and a passionate defender of the Everglades. I got into his newsletter by signing something on his website called the Now or Never Glades Declaration. Perhaps you signed this one last year or the year before. I hope you can spread the word. The primaries in Florida have begun, and they mention candidates for and against protecting the Everglades. As a voter, and I hope Tom O'Brien also would join on this, she says, I spoke to Tommy about it last year, and I remember last year her emailing me and me getting on this. So here's a quote from his latest email. We have included voter guides from our partner, 501
C4 organization.
Right, and they identify the best clean water candidates and hope you will consider them to make those critical choices. The future of the Everglades and Florida's clean water is in our hands, and every vote counts. This refers to Florida voters, of course, only. She lives in Colorado, so I do the best I can to pass on the information to Floridians. Here's a link, and the link is on gladesdeclaration.org. And we definitely need to,
Well,
right
it's
now.
Basically, it's a petition.
Yes, it's a petition.
And we really need people to speak out. Isn't that interesting? Because, last night I went on WTAN with my friend Lou on In My Humble Opinion .love show. And he's seen our show, and we've seen his show. And we talked about the red tide and the state of the Everglades.
Right.
And, Governor Rick Scott is not at the top of my list at all.
No.
I mean, I don't think he is on anybody's, and I certainly hope we can see a new butt in the chair. But, he took $600 million from the industries that are really responsible, the sugar industry.
Cane. Yeah, and cattle also. So, yeah, it's an important thing, and we do need to clean it up. They started this project in the 1920s when they started that dam to dam that up so it wouldn't flood. The flooding is a natural process that needs to be there to cleanse the whole system.
That's right. Mother Nature knows how to do her own holistic cleansing.
So, yeah, we should just kind of adapt to whatever Mother Nature is doing and kind of move around that, and that's what we need to do.
Well, Addie, thanks for your letter, and I really think what it takes is for good people to do nothing, for evil to persist, and we all need to bring the attention to these things. And as I mentioned, Governor Rick Scott has been, he's known to really cater to the lobbyist and industrial interests. Yeah. And as well, that he also is one of the governors that signed into law one of the most restrictive telecommunications acts for the state of Florida, very restrictive, really has tied the hands of our local governments, or really impeded home rule, where cities can really have an impact on where these types of devices are being put. I'll be speaking out as a citizen at the City of Dunedin's meeting tonight. And I want to continue the conversation, folks, on the dangers of 5G. And although we're fighting it here in Dunedin, and Florida is one of those 20 states that really got shafted as far as I'm concerned. But what's happening now is the federal government is trying, the Thorn Bill was introduced, and that is designed to make the same type of restrictive covenants that are in place for Florida a national thing, where cities will have no voice. And people need to call their senators, people on the Senate committee for this Telecommunications Act. It's Senate Act 3157, I believe. I'm going to bring it up here shortly, but I want people to take action. It doesn't take but a few minutes.
Yeah. The second email I got was from Alan. He said, good morning. He said, just watched the replay of yesterday's show. I think that was Tuesday's show. Thanks. It was a good one. He says, so ironic, too. Last week I visited White Oaks Pasture Farms in Georgia.
Yay.
And got behind-the-scenes tour with Will Harris's daughter, Jody. What an experience and very impressive operation. They put a high priority and spare no expense to provide a humane experience for the animals they process. They use principles designed by a lady named Temple Grandin, who had a movie made about her life and how she really had some of these great TED Talks on her studies and research on treating animals. They go as far as to bring the chickens that are to be processed on any particular day into an area during the night before, so they are calmer and have minimal lights as they go to the rooms that they process. The kill area for cattle is much the same, and I actually witnessed the kill and slaughter of an animal, including meeting the USDA inspector they have to pay and provide office and showers and etc. So they have, he says, quite a good day for me. He said, and their lunch pavilion was great. They fed all their 118 employees, great food too, and he had a super day. So that's really a good report, and this is one of those farms that opens their doors for tours.
That's right, and you can order from White Oaks Pastures.
I have for many years, and I haven't in the last couple of years, mainly because I have some providers that are closer. But yeah, it's a great organization, and it's a family organization. I've talked to them extensively, and if you get a chance to go to the southern Georgia and see this, or maybe a farm in your area, it's a real good education process to see how these animals are processed, and for you to get comfortable with the idea that this is a better way.
That's very true. I think there's a documentary, maybe Weston A. Price Group did it, I think on YouTube. There's a great documentary of their farm if you don't get to visit it.
Yeah,
that's worth watching.
They've got several videos about it on YouTube, for sure. And that's the oath.
Well, thanks, Alan and Addie, for sending us your comments. We love hearing from you all. And any ideas or thoughts or comments are always well appreciated. So again, it is Senate Bill 3157 that I want to ask you to take a look at. Call your senators. If you're in Florida, call Bill Nelson. He already knows we need to put the brakes on this. We'll be right back after this short break.
Stick around, folks. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
I guess so. I don't know. Yeah.
There we go. All right, there we go. So we're talking a little bit today about small cell towers, because these are going to be proliferating all over our cities, towns in the U.S.
That's for sure.
There's a huge plan to spread 5G worldwide, and I am very concerned about this technology, as are thousands of scientists and doctors and health experts. And interesting, regulation has made it, the Federal Telecommunications Act of 1996 actually prohibited the ability of cities to consider the environmental health effects.
So just throw that out the window.
Just throw it out the window. It really doesn't matter what we're doing to you.
Yeah. Well, it's the state of our nation, though.
You know, there are many people, yeah, exactly. There are so many people that are starting to find perhaps hopeful loopholes of how we can start to protect ourselves. And it really needs to open up the discussion of why in the world do we need to be swimming in a soup of radiation, It's progress. So that somebody can download a video maybe a half a second faster. Mm-hmm. When in fact fiber optics, which have been laid under cities actually were billed tons of money to do this, are much better and safer and faster and more secure.
Well, they're more secure. They're hidden in a pipe, and you know.
Exactly. And if we ever really think about it, when you start to look at the amount of radiation that's thrown out just in case someone needs it, the rest of us are actually swimming in this radiation soup. It's really actually delivering a service without our consent. It's not. We don't consent to being microwaved constantly.
Now, I did have done some research on some of these, like the smart meters and things like this, because I'm concerned about this and how to block this. You know, part of my stuff is blocked because I have a metal roof, so that helps a lot.
That was a very smart move, by the way. When you replaced your roof, that's what people are doing, a metal or preferably even a lead roof. Lead line or
that would be wonderful.
Would be so heavy,
heavy. But I've been exploring, like maybe covering the smart meter up, and there's several devices, and some of them, you know, when you read those things, some people say they work, some people don't work, but if you've got a meter and you can read it, then you can
But there's still some talk, and I do want to get back to, you know, because we're talking about two things, but they're very related. We're talking about the smart meter on your house, which was kind of the foreground, so that these smart meters will interact with these mini cell phone towers that will be placed throughout our cities and towns, and maybe even 200 feet from your bed, because you have no control over it now based on what they're doing. And all of these are part of implementing the Internet of Things. And as I said last night, the best things in life are not things, folks. We've got to get back to nature. And we've got to protect our environment. These things are extremely unsightly. They're dangerous. They are not only interfering with our health and well-being, but our privacy.
Yeah. Well, the reason, of course, the smart meters, this is what they say, the smart meters, is it's technology so they can read these meters without sending somebody there. So really they're eliminating jobs in one sense.
Right.
You know, so
Why would we want to do that, really?
Well, we want to do that because it saves the company money. It has nothing to do with
Nobody that I know of that's had smart meter technology installed has seen a decrease in their power bills. Their power bills have, in fact, gone up.
Well, I have actually seen decreases.
Well,
in
but yours is different.
I see.
Don't mess up the subject here. You put on a solar.
Yeah, okay.
However, actually, that's why you can't opt out of a smart meter.
Right.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the rest of us can.
Yeah.
And everybody should.
So then that's why I've been looking at, and of course the smart meter that I have is on the garage, which is really cool because I have that extra buffer.
Right, you're on the opposite side of your house, your bedroom.
And there's screening you can put on the wall by there. So, and there's also a screening that you can put around that smart meter, which I'm going to do because I'm concerned about this too, and I'm going to get a meter so I can read this stuff.
Well, we'll have an expert. I've been talking to a lot of different EMF experts. In fact, one of them who's on the website, Eric Windheim, you can Google him. Eric Windheim has an extensive site. Had a nice conversation with him. He's in Sacramento. Sacramento and Santa Rosa are a couple of cities that are way down the pike and fighting this. California's lucky. Their governor protected the people by saying, no, we're not going to do a state mandate and take away local jurisdictions. But let me finish telling you about Eric. Eric is an EMF specialist, but here's a guy who knows how terrible they are. Smart meter installed and a mini cell phone tower, 200 feet from his bedroom window. So he said he's been trying to move. And that's what I want to go to next, is that property values are declining near cell phone towers. And as these mini towers now become in your front yard, right where your kids play, wherever, you will have no choice. So.
And there are going to be a lot more of them.
Oh,
they're every
be
500 feet or
every 500 feet, and then they'll be stacked on top of each other. And just because AT&T got a permit, AT&T, then they'll be able to co-locate other vendors, and then they'll have these little towers that look like they just look ridiculous when you take a look at them.
Well, there's all different kinds of them too. I'm just wondering how far these things reach. And
that's not what they end up looking like.
No, that's a top one. There's all kinds of them on here, but not the real big ones that they talk about.
But it's really a conglomeration of about 3 or 4 of those with a refrigerator box down at the bottom. But this came from EMF Analysis, which is a great site for information too, because when it comes to cell towers, there's increasingly the perception that a family does not want to live near one.
Well, not only that, and this is the new technology, but even the old technology at those larger towers, people for decades have said, they can feel that thing and they don't sleep. So people who live around these large power lines that come into the cities have real problems with them. And sometimes when you walk by an array of these things, I don't know if you've ever walked by one of these gated places that have all these electronics, and you can actually feel the electricity in the air.
I have a friend who actually, every time she travels, she gets on Google Maps to double check and make sure none of those facilities are near the hotel, because she's had so many sleepless nights. There are a lot of electrosensitive people, but when it comes to cell towers, we're finding out that there is evidence of declining property values around cell tower installations, and there was an investigative report in San Francisco by a journalist there, and they found that 94% of the people surveyed would not buy or rent a home next to a cell phone tower. And Palo Alto community successfully stopped a proposed AT&T cell tower at a Catholic church. They cite a 20% drop in property values in their other communities. It was a very effective campaign for any neighborhood to model. Very interesting.
Yeah, there's a couple of communities in Colorado, also in Berkeley area, that have stopped these towers from being built. So this is doable, especially in places like California and Colorado,
where they have not passed the state legislation that our governor, Rick Scott, very stealthily passed, actually, very quickly. That
he's
does
stealthy
not,
in some things, and other things like the rail system. We're so against the rail system going from here to Orlando, and then his wife invested in the company that's going from West Palm down to Broward County, and from Dade County up to Broward County. Now they have a rail system. They invested, so now they want that same company to build. So now they're on board. I mean, it's just a mind blower that these people can get away with this right in front of everybody, saying, no, this is no good, you can't do this, and then all of a sudden, well, now I've invested in it, so let's do it. It's just, this is the way, this is the politics.
I don't like politics.
Yeah, I know.
All right, be right back.
Okay.
Would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back. You know, we were talking about the placement of small cell towers, and the community of Palo Alto, California, of course, like I said, they're kind of really been down this battlefield a little farther. Yeah. It actually was very successful in getting an AT&T tower removed from a Catholic church, and they had a very effective campaign, and you can Google it. It's there's a website here in this article. But as you can see, there was a recent New York Times article, and the residents of Palo Alto really didn't like having cell phone towers in their communities, even though they are actually the cradle of technology.
This is where it all happened, right?
This is where Silicon Valley, all of that stuff. What, what is it that these tech people know that the rest of the population does? In other words, you want to create this stuff, and then you don't want it in your own backyard.
And of course, that whole community has been a very big community on self-sustaining things, and also very health conscious about eating and things like that.
The community of Berkeley did the same thing. They flooded the planning commissions with, pages and pages of emails against the tower, and they were actually successful in getting it denied. Now, we in Florida have had that right taken away from us. We cannot deny it on location and specifications, etc. But there seems to be potentially a little area that they neglected to get into the final work. So we'll see.
What is that?
I'm not going to say yet, but I will in the next one. I mean, because I'm hoping that we can get it into an ordinance.
Okay.
But I've been talking with some
A
people.
local ordinance you're talking about?
Yeah, a local ordinance.
But wouldn't we have to circumvent the state thing first?
Well, that's what I'm saying. The state mandate, when you look at the actual planned document for the 1996, remember, that's about the last time they did any safety testing, too.
Okay.
How does that make you feel?
Yeah.
So there was a planned version of the Telecommunications Act, and then what was actually signed. And scientists, lawyers, so what forth, have found some areas where there were some things that didn't get in there that may give us a little bit of freedom in terms of things that we can regulate. So that's what we're going to discuss.
Okay.
And if we, I don't know where it's going to go, but people need to do something. We got to go from reading it to putting it into action.
So my question is, so while this is all going on behind the scenes, what can homeowners like us do to protect ourselves?
We need to turn off our wireless devices.
Yeah.
We need to work at hardwiring. We need to look for those companies that will take the fiber that's already laid and then bring it into the home and eliminate the wireless soup. It's safer, it's faster, it's less expensive, it's not harmful to health. This is what we need to do.
And what I did in my house is, of course, we still have Wi-Fi in our house for our little devices, but you can
you can Ethernet these in.
We can Ethernet these in, but also like I have a couple of boxes. I have this Smart Stream box, and I have the Apple TV, and I hardwired both of those in there. But that doesn't stop the Wi-Fi from, like, my neighbors. I can see the Wi-Fi from my neighbors.
Right.
Not as strong as mine, but it's still there. So how do I protect myself against something like that?
Well, that's why you work with building biologists and people like Brian Hoyer that I talked to you about from GeoVital. I mean, we need to be having these consultants, and I sort of feel like we should be able to say to our cities, okay, if you're going to bombard us, then you're going to have to pay for the remediations.
Yeah. And if you can't do much in your house, there are other measures you can take on a personal level, like doing saunas and detox types of things.
Getting in the early morning sun, getting away from the non-nanometer wavelengths.
Right.
And
taking breaks.
getting into the natural EMFs, which are delivered to us via the sun.
Yeah, and maybe taking breaks. You could probably put some of these things on timers if you wanted to, and have them come up. One thing I've done with Facebook, because I've been trying to get off Facebook, and I go on and off. So what I finally did is I just turned off all my notifications. So now I don't see a notification, I don't have a temp. So now Friday is my day when I go in the morning, have a couple hours, and I'll take a look at Facebook, and mostly for my kids and my grandkids and things like that.
Yes.
So I can see what's going on with them and comment on that. So I'm trying to take a break, but you can do that, and it's really helped me. Psychologically, I'm not going to Twitter or any of those things at all anymore.
Oh, you even gave up Twitter?
Yeah, I've never really liked Twitter.
Oh, I thought you liked Twitter because you have that thing tied in.
I have it tied into it to broadcast the show out, but I've never used Twitter. I never really look at Twitter. Even LinkedIn, I'm on there, and same with Google Plus and things like that.
It's also obtrusive, actually. When we start to think about it, a lot of this social media tools are actually creating no boundaries for us.
In a sense, too, and I'm trying to establish those boundaries for myself, and it's not easy, but I find a lot of peace of mind in saying, okay, Friday's my day, and I'll spend an hour on Facebook so I can connect with my kids, and of course, the dojo's on there, too.
Right.
You know, they got us kind of trapped in this whole situation where, you know, now we rely on these devices to contact the people that we love, in a sense. But it still feels superficial to me rather than a direct contact. You know, the direct contact, even like a text to me is not so personal. If you text somebody, it's very impersonal, but if you call them and speak to them on the phone, it's like the old days. Speaking on the phone used to be kind of like so impersonal, but when you're in front of somebody, then it gets nice and personal. And you
Now, speaking on the phone is personal compared to getting a text.
Exactly. So it's getting worse and worse and worse, and I'm wondering if this trend is going to continue as the AI industry, you know, gets larger and larger. We're talking about robots. We're talking
now
about
what'll happen is your phone and my phone will talk to each other. Hi, Nico, how are you? You're fine.
And we're not
I'm
even
fine. What are you
involved
doing?
anymore.
Yeah, that's what's, you know, it's like, hey, you look good today.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have you seen those automatic?
Well, on Fridays I'll find out, right?
Have you seen those automatic responses at the bottom? So if
Yeah,
you're
I've
texting,
seen those,
I'm
yeah.
good. Oh, very good.
And now you can just smile at somebody.
I know. I'm a little guilty of emojis, but I almost feel like the emojis try and put some emotion into a text. But,
Well, kind of like the
but the young
higher-
people resent that. They
Well,
don't
remember the
they don't like
Chinese
it.
language and the hieroglyphs from past civilizations. These were picture stories. in
Yeah,
a sense.
picture stories, yeah.
And each one had a specific meaning, and some of them had a couple of different meanings.
Right.
So it's important, and emojis is kind of going back to that on a lesser level, I feel. But yeah, it is. Too.
Well, hey, just coming back to my information
Yeah.
here on the fact that if you want to try and make it illegal for us to pass these things because of health effects, let's take a look at what's going to happen to your property value, your investment, your privacy and your property values. And we talked about the .com Silicon Valley creation area. They don't want it in their backyard. How about that? There's also realtors that have done studies of this that's spoken out from the National Board Association of Realtors. They feel that these are really starting to hamper property values. And there's also been successful litigation against cell phone tower installations related to declining property values. So perhaps we need to bring this to the attention. It's such an overwhelming amount of information because everyone's doing the different things. What if you were a NASA scientist and you had all this knowledge of technology, EMFs and lights and so forth, and you live someplace and for 25 years, but then when you find out that one of these smart meters is coming near your house, you put your house up for sale, you know? So here, you know, he doesn't want to be near that anymore either. And I just want to really encourage all of you all to, if you don't want to believe that these have dangerous health effects, which they do, this is not here, I'm not expressing a concern, I'm going on record here that these are documented biological effects.
More information is coming out every single day on this, for sure.
That's right. But if you're worried about it, your property values are going to plummet. So
Stick around, folks. We got a lot more. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And welcome back to the show. So we're talking a lot about the EMFs, and we're talking a lot about all this current overconnectedness, yeah. And one of the things, of course, the Apple Watch, the Fitbit, these are direct connections. Not only do you have the phone in your pocket, and you're glad to see everybody, but you've got all these little things in your wrists. And
right on your electrical meridians, by the way. Mm-hmm. The pericardium going to the heart and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Well, I've never been a watch wearer, so that never.
I have a couple of very nice watches,
Yeah.
but I'm sort of the same way. It's a little claustrophobic for me. I don't like anything on my wrist.
No, and with training people and going to jiu-jitsu, I wouldn't be wearing it anyway. So I've never been a watch person. I do have a couple of watches that kind of sit there and the batteries run down, and we put new batteries in, and I never seem to wear them. So
some of you may have seen this article, though. Nico's going to share with you, activistpost.com. It was out this spring, just to remind you
that Fitbit recalls are due to the rashes. So this is
the Fitbit. They had a recall on their device, and they're saying it's due to rashes, dizziness, erratic pulse, nausea, pain, headaches. These are all things that people who are suffering electromagnetic frequency sensitivity experience. So Fitbit operates using what? Wi-Fi. Oops.
And so all these devices do, in a sense, and the watches are getting more and more powerful. They're going to be able, in the next generation, to do a heck of a lot more things. So you're going to be more and more connected. I'm not sure it's a great idea on your wrist, or even maybe if you had a button like they had on Star Trek over your heart, might not be a good idea either. I don't know. Maybe it would be for some people.
Well, isn't that interesting? Because when I was on that TAN Talk last night, Mike Murdy said that with EMF, some of the studies have shown, brain cancers and heart cancer, which we never hear of. That's how horrible it would be. But the heart is such an electromagnetic organ. And where do a lot of men wear their cell phones?
Yeah, they put it right in the pocket.
Right in that pocket.
Or even if you put it in your pocket here, that's sensitive down there, too.
We've seen the testicular and the prostate cancers. We know this, the breast cancers. And many people still hold it to their ear when they talk. So, but the Fitbit, really, the complaints and concerns were posted all over community websites, and many of the wearers reported adverse reactions. Others reported no reactions. And the key thing is we really don't, EMFs, we don't see them. so we may not feel the effects of them as well.
Yeah, and there's some testimony from people here. One of this person says, I bought this Fitbit this past Friday, started wearing it on Saturday. I'm pregnant with my third, not so very far off, and have some experience some morning sickness. Today I'm in bed all day due to morning sickness and dizziness, or so I thought. I decided to take off my Fitbit for a while, and now I'm able to get out of bed and things turned to normal.
Yeah.
So she's thinking that it was the Fitbit instead of just her normal cycle of not feeling too good because she's pregnant.
So it comes back, folks, these are devices that we are treating with lack of concern that really actually have very serious health concerns, because I'm going to remind you, in 2011, cell phone and wireless Wi-Fi radiation was classified as a group 2B possible carcinogen.
Wow.
And then it was in 2012, scientists announced that exposure to cell phone and other sources of Wi-Fi disrupt the blood-brain barrier, which may cause it to leak, increasing risks of stroke and so forth. And, the truth is, many people, it was actually just this last year, July of 2017, there were many scientists that announced it should actually be reclassified to a Group A carcinogen. Hundreds of scientists and medical professionals have notified the FCC and so forth.
So could this type of technology that we're all using now be kind of like the lead in the pipes of the Romans, where they thought they were so smart and they were using lead at that time?
And it was a real big...
It's that declined their population.
Exactly right. I think you're exactly right.
And we love our devices, so it's very, very difficult. And
they were so proud of their piping system, and yet they were poisoning themselves.
Yeah.
That's a really great analogy. Well, we know history repeats itself. So if we don't learn from history, we're doomed to repeat it.
Yeah.
It appears.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of parallels between the Roman Empire and the world that we see, and many of the traditional cultures and Indian folklore has explained that when the world is covered in a web, this shall be
And now
a big
knowing
shift.
this information and seeing that it is true, now you're kind of caught between a hard place and a rock, because now all of a sudden we still have to use these devices, but now we also have to know that we need to shelter ourselves or take breaks from these things. So we need to add something else.
It's crazy, folks. Listen to this, it's kind of interesting. Quarterback Tom Brady and his supermodel wife, Gazelle, both prescribed to an electronic-free bedroom as part of their holistic lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is what you and I have been sharing with people, that we all have to, I know it's like an addiction. First you move it into the room next door. Then you put it on airplane mode and you say, if there really is an emergency, the police will come knocking, right? Other than that, it can wait till you wake up. Turn off your Wi-Fi at the router at night. It really isn't necessary. You're not using the internet. You don't need it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people are using timers and things like that.
But listen to this. This is very disturbing. Despite all of the recalls and the reported adverse reactions, the Fitbit and other smart, remember they're using the word smart to make you feel like you're smart if you use this stuff. These smart products are still being marketed as being beneficial to our health. What's particularly unfortunate is that parents are now being marketed to, and I can attest to this. My daughter called me and said, I think I should get Avante one of those little smart bits because it's a tracker for parents, so in case your child is abducted. See how they're getting the fear to get these mothers to put these on?
I'm sure the future is you could just slip it underneath your skin
this
here.
is despite the fact that no safe level of cell phone or wireless radiation has been scientifically determined at all for children or pregnant women. And then that one pregnant woman was wearing on her wrist. And there are sadly plans to move wireless devices such as these into our schools. It's horrific. I'm going to be presenting some information that has a case study of where a mother wanted scientists to calculate the exposure that her kindergartner got from a 6-day with just one Wi-Fi router in the room. It was astronomical. It was tens of millions of thousands
and I
too
think
high.
a lot of people may be getting symptoms and not even knowing it. Listen to a couple here. Joe is in his mid-30s. He received physical therapy before and after having surgery to correct his carpal tunnel syndrome. His wrist had
Remember me?
Yes, his wrists have fully recovered and he feels great. He started wearing a Fitbit and his wrist started hurting again. He stopped wearing the Fitbit and the wrist no longer hurt. He tried this a few times and concluded not to wear the Fitbit anymore. Then Matt, in his early 50s, when he looks directly at the Fitbit more than a few seconds, he gets a headache.
My question is, how many of our illnesses are we not attributing to our environment? As Jack Cruz has been right on, he's been saying, we have this technology has just oozed into our lives, and then as we're getting sicker and sicker, we're not putting the pieces together.
Yeah, and especially if we're talking about children, you know, no matter how young you start, it's maybe too young. We're introducing these little gadgets to our kids, think it's really cool, they think it's really cool. You may not be connecting that little Jimmy has a cold because of the Fitbit, or maybe he's nauseous or doesn't eat his breakfast, or there's some sign there that you're not connecting with this electronic device.
It's so true. We really need to figure out a Wi-Fi detox, guys. We need to find ways to get free of it. We'll talk about some of these ideas when we come back.
We'll be right back.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools, as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors.
About this article detailing the potential for adverse reactions and long-term health issues wearing things like Fitbit, and probably also, even though they don't mention it, would be the Apple Watch and all those things. It makes no sense, the author says here, at least to me, to be hooked up to a device like a Fitbit that emits any sort of EMF radiation while exercising, which is already putting your body under physical stress from sweating and
Isn't it crazy
detoxification.
when you think about it? People act like they think these things are just as if they've been proven safe and effective, which they haven't. You know?
But there's no information out there in the last 20 years until recently that it says it was, that I heard. You know,
Well-
it's just recently in the last 3 or 4 years that we've really been talking about this.
Well, Fitbits that people wear while sleeping are the scariest of all. And I know a lot of people are even trying to map their sleep, you know? I mean, I get it. Do it occasionally, but don't do it every night because that's not good. Fitbits, you know, they really can be dangerous when you're sleeping. There's absolutely no data proving the safety of these devices during sleep, even though the user's manual claims that the equipment complies with FCC radiation exposure limits set forth for an uncontrolled environment. The FCC has done no testing in almost 20 years. Do you think our technology has changed a little bit?
It's changed
Okay.
a lot. It's changing every day.
And research has shown that poor quality sleep causes weight gain problems.
Yeah,
Well,
even
do we see
just
a lot
a
of
few
that?
nights of poor sleep can lead to immediate weight gain. Not only that, but it adds to stress, which that also adds to weight
Well,
gain.
I am actually the poster child for all of that. And, you know, I don't know if we'll have time to talk about it, but you see my blue spacers in my teeth?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. That's where I'll be next week, folks. I'm going up to see the inventor himself. I'm not messing around. I'm going to be him as guinea pig.
Good for you.
I think I finally tied it up that my jaw issue or my extracted teeth in my childhood to make way for braces, to make straight teeth, because braces ruin faces and they ruin breathing. And as a result, I don't have enough room in my tongue, so I'm going to be doing that next week. But getting back to it, it really, some of my clues that something wasn't right was my poor quality sleep, which for much of my life wasn't really an issue, or I didn't think it was an issue.
Yeah, and I'm heading up to Michigan after the show on Tuesday to
Yeah,
see.
so we'll have some.
Yeah,
we'll
I have a
have
granddaughter, my third granddaughter getting married.
Fantastic.
Sydney. Yeah, so it's going to be a huge thing seeing the family.
So we'll be in a little sabbatical. We've got some good shows to show you, but
Yep.
we'll be back in touch with new stuff.
I'll be here Tuesday for sure.
Yeah, living a life.
Thanks
Primal
for sticking
lifestyle.
around, folks. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next show. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.